Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into the exciting world of hidden treasures as we explore the top 3 ultra-rare and most valuable quarter-dollar coins in United States history. Some of these quarters may look completely ordinary, but certain rare dates, mint marks, and minting errors have turned simple 25-cent coins into treasures worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions of dollars. So before you spend that old quarter sitting in your pocket or coin jar, make sure to watch until the end, because you might be holding a small fortune in your hands. Alright everyone, let's get started. First up, the Washington $quarter 1993 coin with the P mint mark in very fine condition is one of those remarkable pieces that quietly carries history, mystery, and the excitement of hidden value beneath its silver-colored surface. At first glance it may appear like ordinary pocket change from the 1990s, yet for coin collectors it represents a thrilling possibility that even common-looking coins can hold extraordinary stories. The Washington quarter has remained one of the most iconic coins in American history since it was first introduced in 1932. Created to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States, the design quickly became a familiar part of everyday life. By 1993, these quarters were everywhere, moving constantly through grocery stores, restaurants, movie theaters, arcades, and vending machines while millions of people used them without ever imagining they might one day become highly collectible. The small P mint mark on the coin tells us it was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most respected coin production facilities in the country. Every year millions of quarters were produced there to support the economy and daily commerce. These coins were created for circulation, not for fame or collector attention, which makes the growing fascination around certain surviving examples even more exciting for modern collectors. A very fine condition coin represents a beautiful balance between age and preservation. Unlike heavily worn quarters that lose much of their original detail, a very fine example still displays strong features and attractive surfaces while showing evidence of real circulation. George Washington's portrait remains sharp and recognizable, while the eagle on the reverse continues to display impressive detail and definition. The silver-gray color of a circulated quarter in very fine condition gives it a unique kind of beauty. Years of use slowly soften the original shine, creating smooth metallic tones filled with authenticity and character. Collectors often appreciate this natural aging because it reflects genuine history rather than untouched perfection. Imagine how many places this small quarter may have traveled since 1993. It may have passed through busy shopping centers during the rise of modern technology, jingled in the pockets of travelers, or rolled across convenience store counters during thousands of everyday transactions. Each exchange added another invisible chapter to the coin's remarkable story. Collectors are fascinated by coins because they transform ordinary objects into living pieces of history. A quarter from 1993 may seem modern, yet decades continue to pass quickly, turning everyday money into a connection with another time. Holding such a coin creates a direct link between the present and the past in a surprisingly personal way. The excitement of coin collecting comes from the idea that treasures can still hide in plain sight. Valuable coins are not always ancient artifacts locked inside museums. Sometimes they remain hidden inside jars, drawers, old collections, or spare change waiting quietly for someone curious enough to notice them. Every collector dreams about finding a coin that appears completely ordinary at first glance but later reveals surprising rarity or hidden importance. That possibility transforms every handful of coins into an adventure filled with mystery and excitement. Even a simple quarter can suddenly become the center of attention. Experts carefully examine coins like the 1993 P Washington quarter to determine what makes certain examples stand apart from millions of others. They study the sharpness of Washington's portrait, the clarity of the eagle design, the condition of the lettering, and the overall preservation of the surfaces. Small differences can dramatically increase collector interest. The portrait of George Washington gives the coin a timeless sense of dignity and strength. His image continues to symbolize leadership and history decades after the coin was produced. On the reverse side, the eagle represents power and national pride, giving the quarter a design that still feels meaningful generations later. Many people believe only old gold or silver coins can become valuable, but modern quarters continue to surprise collectors around the world. Condition, rarity, and collector demand can combine in unexpected ways, transforming even recent coins into fascinating treasures. As years pass, finding quarters from the 1990s in attractive, very fine condition becomes more difficult than many people realize. Heavy circulation, scratches, damage, and neglect slowly reduce the number of surviving examples that still preserve strong detail and appealing surfaces. A very fine condition quarter feels special because it clearly participated in everyday life while still retaining much of its original beauty. It carries evidence of history and movement while maintaining enough sharpness to showcase the artistry of the original design. Coin collecting continues to grow because it combines history, mystery, treasure hunting, and art into one unforgettable hobby. Every coin carries hidden possibilities, and every discovery adds another layer of excitement to the search for something extraordinary. The beauty of a Washington quarter lies not only in its design, but also in the silent stories it carries through time. What once seemed like ordinary money can later become a fascinating reminder of another generation and another period in history. Collectors understand that extraordinary discoveries often begin with the simplest objects. That is why searching through spare change remains so exciting, because even the smallest coin can suddenly reveal unexpected importance and value. That is why the Washington quarter dollar 1993 coin with the P mint mark in very fine condition continues to fascinate collectors everywhere, because under the right circumstances. Next up, the Massachusetts 2000 States quarter dollar 1788 coin with the P mint mark in circulated condition is one of those fascinating coins that carries history, mystery, and excitement beneath its silver-colored surface. At first glance it may look like simple spare change from the early 2000s, yet this quarter represents much more than ordinary money. It is a small historical artifact connected to one of the most ambitious and popular coin programs ever created in the United States. The year 2000 marked an exciting period in American coin collecting because the famous 50-state quarters program was capturing the attention of millions of people across the country. Families, children, and collectors suddenly began searching through pocket change looking for each new design as it was released. The Massachusetts quarter quickly became one of the most recognizable coins from the series because of its powerful historical imagery and connection to early American history. The number 1788 displayed on the coin represents the year Massachusetts officially joined the Union as the sixth state. This historical detail gave the quarter a deeper meaning beyond simple currency. Every time someone held the coin, they were also holding a reminder of America's early beginnings and the important role Massachusetts played in shaping the nation's history. The P mint mark on the coin tells us it was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most respected coin production facilities in the United States. Millions of these quarters were produced there during the excitement of the state quarters program, flooding into circulation as people rushed to collect each new release. What once seemed like common pocket change slowly began gaining attention among collectors who understood that certain examples could become highly desirable over time. A circulated condition quarter tells a much richer story than a perfectly untouched example hidden away in storage. Every tiny scratch, softened detail, and faded edge reflects years of real-world use. This quarter may have passed through grocery stores, restaurants, movie theaters, gas stations, and shopping centers during the early years of the new millennium while quietly building its own history. The silver-gray color of a circulated state quarter develops a unique personality over time. The original bright metallic shine slowly softens into smooth shades of silver and gray shaped by years of handling. Collectors often admire this natural aging process because it creates authenticity and character impossible to reproduce artificially. The design on the reverse side of the Massachusetts quarter is especially fascinating. It features the famous Minuteman statue standing proudly beside the outline of the state. This powerful image represents courage, independence, and the determination shown during the American Revolutionary period. Even people who know little about coins often recognize the design immediately because of its strong historical symbolism. Imagine how many hands this quarter may have passed through since the year 2000. It may have traveled through busy cities, small towns, airports, vending machines, school cafeterias, and family cash drawers. Thousands of people may have handled it without ever realizing they were holding a coin that collectors would later search for with excitement and curiosity. Collectors love state quarters because they combine history, art, and treasure hunting into one unforgettable experience. Every design tells a different story about America, and the Massachusetts quarter stands out because of its direct connection to the nation's revolutionary past. The excitement of coin collecting comes from the idea that extraordinary discoveries can still hide in everyday life. Valuable coins are not always ancient artifacts buried underground or displayed behind museum glass. Sometimes they remain hidden inside old jars, forgotten drawers, or ordinary pocket change waiting quietly to be noticed. Every collector dreams about finding a coin that appears ordinary at first glance but later reveals surprising rarity or importance. That possibility turns every handful of coins into a mystery filled with anticipation and excitement. Even a circulated quarter can suddenly become the center of attention. Experts carefully study coins like the Massachusetts 2000 state quarter to determine what makes certain examples more desirable than others. They examine the sharpness of Washington's portrait, the clarity of the Minuteman design, the preservation of the lettering, and the overall condition of the surfaces. Small details can make a significant difference in collector interest. The portrait of George Washington on the front of the quarter gives the coin a timeless sense of dignity and strength. His image has remained one of the most recognizable symbols in American coinage for generations. Combined with the historical reverse design, the coin feels both patriotic and deeply connected to the nation's identity. Many people assume that only old silver or gold coins can become valuable, but state quarters continue to surprise collectors around the world. Condition, rarity, and collector demand can combine in unexpected ways, transforming modern coins into exciting treasures worth searching for. As years pass, finding circulated state quarters with attractive detail and strong preservation becomes more difficult than many people expect. Constant use, scratches, damage, and neglect slowly reduce the number of appealing surviving examples available to collectors. A circulated quarter often feels more authentic because it clearly participated in everyday life. Every worn edge reflects years of movement through the world and contact with countless people. This connection to real human experiences gives circulated coins a special emotional appeal that untouched examples sometimes lack. Coin collecting continues to grow because it combines history, mystery, art, and adventure into one powerful hobby. Every coin carries hidden stories waiting to be discovered by someone curious enough to look closely. The Massachusetts quarter also reminds collectors how quickly time passes. What once felt like a modern new release has now become part of another era, creating nostalgia for the early years of the 21st century and the excitement surrounding the state quarters program. Collectors understand that important discoveries often begin with simple objects most people completely ignore. That is what makes searching through spare change so thrilling. Next up, the Washington 2007 States $quarter 1889 coin with the P mint mark in very fine condition is one of those fascinating coins that combines history, mystery, and the thrill of discovery into one small silver-colored piece of metal. To most people it appears to be ordinary modern currency, yet for collectors it represents an incredible story connected to America's past and the excitement of hidden value. The year 2007 was part of the famous 50-state quarters program, one of the most successful coin collecting programs ever created in the United States. Millions of people across the country suddenly became interested in searching through their pocket change, hoping to collect every new state design released by the mint. Families, children, and experienced collectors all joined the excitement, turning ordinary quarters into national treasures filled with meaning and curiosity. The 1889 date displayed on this quarter represents the year Washington officially became a state. That historical detail gives the coin a deeper connection to American history and reminds collectors of the nation's expansion and growth during the 19th century. Every time someone holds this coin, they are also holding a small reminder of the journey that shaped the United States into what it became. The P mint mark on the quarter tells us it was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most respected coin production facilities in America. Millions of state quarters rolled out of Philadelphia during the excitement of the program, flooding into circulation where they quickly became part of everyday life. At the time, few people imagined that some examples would later attract serious collector attention. A very fine condition coin carries a beautiful balance between circulation and preservation. Unlike heavily worn quarters, a very fine example still displays strong detail and attractive surfaces while showing signs of real-world use. George Washington's portrait remains clear and recognizable, while the detailed state design on the reverse still shows impressive sharpness and definition. The silver-gray color of a circulated quarter in very fine condition gives the coin a unique and authentic appearance. Over time, the original metallic shine softens into smooth shades of silver and gray shaped naturally by years of handling. Collectors often admire this aging process because it creates personality and history impossible to reproduce artificially. The design on the reverse side of the Washington State Quarter is one of the reasons collectors find it so memorable. Featuring a leaping salmon, Mount Rainier, and evergreen trees, the coin beautifully captures the natural beauty and identity of Washington State. The artwork transforms an ordinary quarter into a miniature piece of American culture and geography. Imagine how many places this quarter may have traveled since 2007. It may have passed through shopping malls, restaurants, gas stations, movie theaters, airports, and grocery stores while quietly becoming part of thousands of ordinary moments. Every exchange added another invisible chapter to its remarkable journey through time. Collectors are fascinated by coins because they turn everyday objects into pieces of living history. A quarter from 2007 may seem modern, yet years continue passing quickly, transforming once common coins into nostalgic reminders of another era. Holding such a coin creates a direct connection between the present and the past. The excitement of coin collecting comes from the possibility that hidden treasures may still exist all around us. Valuable coins are not always ancient artifacts buried underground or displayed in museums. Sometimes they remain hidden inside spare change, forgotten drawers, or old family collections waiting patiently to be rediscovered. Every collector dreams about finding a coin that appears completely ordinary at first but later reveals surprising importance or rarity. That possibility turns every handful of coins into a mystery filled with anticipation and excitement. Even a simple state quarter can suddenly become the center of fascination. Experts carefully examine coins like the Washington 2007 state quarter to determine what makes certain examples more desirable than others. They study the sharpness of Washington's portrait, the clarity of the reverse design, the preservation of the lettering, and the overall condition of the surfaces. Small differences can greatly increase collector interest. The portrait of George Washington gives the quarter a timeless sense of dignity and strength. His image has remained one of the most recognizable symbols in American coinage for generations. Combined with the detailed Washington state design, the coin feels deeply connected to both national and regional history. Many people believe that only old gold or silver coins can become valuable, but modern state quarters continue surprising collectors around the world. Condition, rarity, and collector demand can combine in unexpected ways, transforming modern coins into exciting treasures. As years pass, finding state quarters from the early 2000s in attractive, very fine condition becomes more difficult than many people realize. Heavy circulation, scratches, damage, and neglect slowly reduce the number of surviving examples that still preserve strong detail and appealing surfaces. A very fine condition quarter feels special because it clearly participated in everyday life while still maintaining much of its original beauty. It carries evidence of history and movement while preserving enough sharpness to showcase the artistry of the original design. Coin collecting continues to grow because it combines history, mystery, treasure hunting, and art into one unforgettable hobby. Every coin carries hidden stories waiting to be discovered by someone curious enough to look closely. The Washington State Quarter also reminds collectors how quickly time moves forward. What once felt like a brand new release from the United States Mint has now become part of another generation's memories, creating nostalgia for the excitement surrounding the State Quarters program. Collectors understand that extraordinary discoveries often begin with the simplest objects people ignore every day. That is why searching through spare change remains such an exciting adventure, because every coin carries the possibility of revealing something rare and unforgettable. That is why the Washington 2007 States $quarter 1889 coin with a P mint mark in very fine condition continues to fascinate collectors everywhere.